ओम सर्व वेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरम तम गोचरम गोविंदम परमानंदम सद्गुरुं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्. We are trying to study Sri Shankaracharya's Viveka Chudamani here. And last time we studied up to Loka 427. But for the sake of connection, we go back to 426. And a new topic starts from there. Up to 425, after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that stabilization was described. Siddha prajño yatirayam yas sadanandamasnute brahmanyeva vilinatma nirvikaro vinishkriyaha. Siddha prajña word comes first time in Vivekachudamani, which is the word we find in the Gita second chapter from Shloka 54 onwards. That word has come here. This yati, this sannyasi is now Siddha Prajna. Who has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi is now Siddha Prajna. Ya Sadanandam Ashnute, who experiences permanent bliss. This sannyasi who after Nirvikalpa Samadhi experiences permanent bliss is called Siddha Prajna. His self, whatever it was, voice is reaching, please. Whatever your self was has been dissolved. There is a feeling, I am, now that has been dissolved into the all-pervading reality, Brahman. Nirvikara, there is not going to be any change in you now. Vinishkriya, you cannot be the agent, or you cannot act, because the actor I, one who does karma, has vanished into Brahman. This is called Sthita Prajna. Further he explains that Brahmatmano Shodhitayor Ekabhava Avagahini Nirvikalpacha Chinmatra Vritti Pragya iti Kathyate Susitaso Bhavedyasya Sthita Pragyasya Uchyate. Here the main word is Vritti, a wave in consciousness. In that mind, in that bodha, the meaning of Brahman has been purified. Brahman is no longer something indirect or away from me. The meaning of the word Brahman is describing how this is the Prajna has become. The meaning of the word Brahman has been purified. That means we know that the meaning of the word Brahman is only consciousness. Atmano, and about himself also, the meaning as what is myself? Consciousness. So no question of small or big or these upadhis have not remained in the consciousness. In that vritti, Advaita vritti, Aham Brahmasmi, the meaning of the word Brahman has been purified. The meaning of the word Aham has been purified. Eka bhavava gaikini. And both of these words in that vritti have only one consciousness. Avagahini. Avagahini means one which comprehends. that vritti comprehends only ekabhav, one positive existence. Aham Brahmasmi may be the expression in words because of the vritti. Vritti has two ends always. The one end may be Aham, one end may be Brahman. But because the meaning of Aham has been purified, because the meaning of the word Brahman has been purified, both give the same meaning of consciousness. So though this is a vritti, it has two ends, but both the ends and the intervening connection is only Brahman. That is the nature of vritti. Aham Brahmasmi vritti, the nature of the Aham Brahmasmi vritti, in which the meaning of the word Aham is not this body-mind complex. In the word of meaning of Brahman is not some remote reality, but after purification of the meaning, in the vritti, though it has two ends, both ends are telling me the same thing. So one positive existence only is being comprehended in that vritti. Nirvikalpa cha. There is no other alternate there. Though words are two, but both giving the same meaning in that vritti, there is no question of otherness there. The meaning is that the word does not appear, the subject object does not appear, though it is a vritti, but it is giving only one meaning, in matra, and the meaning is only consciousness. That is the nature of that vritti. Such a vritti is called prajna. Prajna, wisdom. The word is used loosely for many things. But in the word Sita Prajna used in the Gita, what is the meaning of the word Prajna? Is that vritti which though vritti has two ends, but both the ends have the same meaning and it is giving only, it is comprehending only one positive existence, and that positive existence has no other, and that positive existence is only consciousness. That is called prajna. Susthita aso bhavedyasya. Now, a vritti, how can it become susthita? If it is a vritti, it is a chalayaman something. That is the problem. But when this vritti becomes susthita, that means it is converted into a flash of lightning in which the distinction, whatever, has vanished. So this vritti becoming susthita means it is no more a vritti now, it has become a steady state of consciousness. So it is the steady state of consciousness as a result of that vritti has eaten away all our wrong knowledge and that has left us with a steady state of consciousness. Whoever for whom this such a thing happens, he is called Sita Prajna. So in the Shlok 426, the external lakshanas of Sita Prajna were described that he has a permanent bliss to experience, his self has dissolved into Brahman, there is no change, no doership, but how he has reached that is being described in the Shloka 427 with the help of the two words Sita Prajna. So he says Prajna is that vritti which cognizes only one reality, which cognizes only one positive existence, which is of the nature of consciousness. It does not have any other. And that thing, vritti, is called pragya. And when this pragya becomes sthira, steady, means the vritti is no more a vritti now. It is the steady state of the mind. Vaidhyasya, whoever attains this, So he is called Sita Prajna. Now he is using that word for the upcoming topic, which is a very important feature of Viveka Chudamani. Yasya Sita Bhavet Pragya, Yasya Nando Nirantarah, Prapancho Vismruta Prayaha, Sa Jivan Mukta Ishyate. So one whose pragya has become sthita, that means it is a permanent state of the mind. And therefore, his bliss is without a gap. He is always blissful. His bliss is without a gap. That means we may see him doing, sitting, talking, but his bliss is not changed. That is what Arjuna had asked. Sita pragya se ka bhasha? Ma sita vrajeta kim pravasheta. So in all these activities of walking, talking, standing, going, his bliss is without a gap. And the world, the manifold world, prapancha means the manifold world. Vismruta praya. Vismruta praya means during Nirvikal Samadhi, he does not perceive anything. But when he comes down from Nirvikal Samadhi, he has a faint recollection of what he had perceived. So there is no manifoldness now, but that is described as Vismruta praya. Because some shadow like, some semblance like appears. It does perceive. Sometimes this I and you, but it has no reality. And so it is called Vismruta Praya. He is called Jivan Mukta. So the word Jivan Mukta has come now. A person who is free, though he appears to live in this body. Though the person has body, and because he has body, the manifoldness is only apparently real in him. That is called Vismutarpraya. Apparently real in him. He is called Jivan Mukta, free while living, because he does not die immediately. The body is still there. So for us, he appears to live in that body, but he just lives in that body. Actually, his self has gone into Brahman, and that is called Jivan Mukta. This description or definition of a Jivan Mukta is one of the special features of Vivekchudamani, which we had referred to on the first or second day itself. So, we see now further, for our cognizance of such a person. Vina dhirapi jagarti, jagrat dharma vivarjitaha, bodho nirvasano yasya sa jivan mukta ishyate. Lina de. That means these buddhi means both eye consciousness. This eye consciousness has dissolved into Brahman, yet that does not mean he is sleeping. That does not mean that he is not alert to the outside world. That does not mean that he is not alert to the situation in which he is there. So it is called Jagarti. He is very much alert. I am tempted to quote an example here. In my life, now what is the language of this Siddha Prajna? That everything is being done by God. And generally, people who say everything is being done by God, we find them akarmanya. But the person who has really realized everything done by God is never akarmanya. He is more alert than all of us together. Please listen to an incident. Nagpur Ashram, the library building was inaugurated on 5th January 1959, Mahapurush's birthday. On one side there was a road. Now you can't believe, now that road has become the busiest road in Nagpur, joining this part of to that part. But the All India Congress session was to be held in Nagpur from the 7th of January. So 3 days before that, the road was opened, 4th of January. Now I'm talking about the days when the road was to be constructed. Our Swami had weak eyes. He used to go out for a walk after breakfast with Swami, revered Swami Bhaumananji. While coming back from walk, he saw those pegs which were put as marks of the boundary of the road. And he asked, what is this? Bhaumanji replied, they are the marks of the road. He said, they appear to be wrong. They are wrong. Did not appear. He said, they are wrong. Call the person who is in charge of this. I can tell you the name. Revered Swami Akamananji used to look after these things. So he was called, and our Maharaj asked him, what is this? He said, they are the pegs. Will they not affect your library building? He said, no, Maharaj, that I have seen. He said, today I have seen. But when the road is completed, they want 10 feet more. Then will they not hit your library compound? He said, Maharaj, but what can be done? It is a technical matter. Maharaj said, no. All the city chief engineer, city civil engineer, it is wrong. So he was a man of integrity. He was called, and as soon as he came and saw, his eyes were red. He said, it is not according to the plan given by me. And he called his assistants and started firing them. This is not what according to I had given you the plan. In between, so he had to get them corrected. In between, Maharaj told Akamananji, bring our site plan, where we can see where the space was left for the road. And as the site plan was brought and he saw it, tears came profusely from his eyes. And he said, Mahapuruji had said, you will have a big library, and you are seeing that. That his struggle and all this went out of existence. Mahapurush Maharaj had said, there is a library, and you are seeing that. So, I told you, everything happens by God will. Is 100% present, he is not the doer at all. And yet, so much alertness, which the person in charge is telling it is technical matter, and our Maharaj is telling it is wrong. And when the city engineer came, he said it is wrong. So, just an example I gave, I have several examples to show that the man who really sees every God's hand in everything is never akarmanya, is more alert than what we are. And that is what in the Gita, in the Adarsha Bhakta Lakshana, the word is used daksha, alert. So here he says, jagarti. This is the meaning of being awake. He is awake to the situation. Though his buddhi has been merged, his high consciousness has been merged in God, yet he is alert to the situation. Please remember this. Jagrat dharma vivarjita. Normally a person is awake, what he wants, I want this, I want that. So this Vishay both is not there, and yet he is alert. So this is Jivan Mukta is being described, please. Because I lived with a person, so I am able to tell you this. His bodha, his consciousness has no vasana. No impression is left on him which creates desires. The desires are vanished, yet alertness is there. Yes, sa jivan mukta. That person is free in life. Who? So his high consciousness is merged in Brahman, is alert. And though he is alert, Jagruta, yet there is no subject-object consciousness in him as it is in our Jagruti. And his consciousness has no impression-creating desire. He is called Jivan Mukta. Shanta Sansara Kalana Kalavan Api Nishkalaha Yasya Chittam Vinischintam Sa Jivan Mukta Ishyate. Kalana is experience. The experience of samsara, experience of a transmigratory world, the experience of his own self transmigrating, the experience of a transmigrating world is pacified in him. It is no more there in him. It is pacified in him. It has come to a rest in him. Kalavanapi nishkala. Kalavan means he lives in the body. So there are parts of the body that are called the kalas. He lives in the body is still there, so there are parts in the body, but Nishkala. In his consciousness, there is no part and whole. In his consciousness, there is no I and you. In his consciousness, there is no I and Brahman separate, because the same meaning is coming out of I and Brahman in that Vati, and which has become steady now. So, Kalavanapi Nishkala. Yasya Chittam Vinishchintam. Where is the place of anxiety? He is the sure of the results. He is sure of everything being Brahman. So the anxiety portion is gone. He is nischinta. He is not thoughtless, but his nischinta means no anxiety there. He is jivanmukta. So really free in life is being described to inspire us to get that state. वर्तमानेऽपि देहेऽस्मिन् छायावत् अनुवर्तिनि अहंता ममता भावो जीवन मुक्तस्य लक्षणम. Lakshana means characteristics. How to recognize the Jivan Mukta? His Deha is following him rather. He is not following his Deha, but the Deha has not gone. Chayavad Anuvartini. When a man walks, his shadow follows him. He is not identified with the shadow. So he is consciousness itself, but the body follows him like a shadow. But there is neither I nor my about that body. There is neither I nor my about that body. Anta mamata abhav. No body follows him. Here let me tell one thing which I told you one day. This is from a jnani mode of mind that the whole thing is described in a passive way. We have better description. And that is that they become the instruments of God. They have gone. Buddhi has vanished into Brahman. But that Brahman lives, and when we accept Saguna Brahma, we have to accept that the so-called desire of Sthiti is there. He has to maintain this world. And for that he requires instruments. And where shall he get instruments other than these? So they become his instruments. And therefore, the appearance will be there that I am in this body. So they will not be identified. So there is following him like a shadow, but there is absence of I or my about that body. Even Muktasya Lakshanam. Ramakrishna's disciple Mahapurush Maharaj is a bright example of this. When somebody, doctor comes and asks him, "How are you, Maharaj?" He used to point out his sevak and said, "Ask him. Ask him, how am I?" Because how am I means how is your body? And so, how do I know how my body is? But the sevak is attending to it, so ask him. That was his answer. So that is called no I or my in this body. That is Jivan Mukta selection. Atitan ananusandhanam, atita ananusandhanam, Bhavishyat avicharanam audasenyamapi praptam jivan muktasya lakshanam. He is not worried over what happened in the past. He is not anxious about what will happen in the future. And about the present, he is udasi. His consciousness is above the so-called facts of this present world. He is Jivan Mukta. That is the characteristic of the Jivan Mukta. He is not searching Anusandhan about what happened in the past. That means he is not trying to remember what happened in the past. He is not anxious about the future and about the present also. He is above the happening of the worlds. That is called Jivan Mukta. That is the characteristics of Jivan Mukta. You can apply that everywhere, what I have told. This is the passive expression. Active expression is God is working through him. गुणदोष विशिष्टेस्मिन् स्वभावेन विलक्षणे सर्वत्र समदर्शित्वं जीवन्मुक्तस्य लक्षणम्. Guna and dosh, though by their nature they are opposite each other, they are of different characteristics, good and bad of this world, asmin, in this world. But this Jivan Mukta, equanimity, he does not say good or he does not say bad. He says Brahman expressed as this, Brahman expressed as that. So Samabuddhi is not like the what you call the communist ideology that all are same. That expression that a carpenter and a professor are same, that is not the truth. He knows that outside world they do differ. We take in the Gita, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Astini, Shuni Chaiva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and those who eat dog's flesh, they are not same outside. But the Brahmajna, the Jivan Mukta sees Brahman in this way. Brahman as a dog, Brahman as a cow, Brahman as a man of erudition, Brahman as a uncultured man. So, seeing Brahman in various forms, that is the meaning of Samadarshitva. I will tell you a beautiful example of that. And that is about our Holy Mother, Shri Sarada Devi. Then there was some construction work in her house at Jarambati. Among the various laborers, there was Amjad. He belonged to that community of Muslims who were half thieves. If they get work, they will do. If they do not get work, they may steal. And he used to consider himself outcast compared to the other Hindus working there. And in Holy Mother's house, the rules were reverse of what we see in society. That means all the laborers are given food, and after they finish their food, they cannot lift their leaves plates. Holy Mother herself used to clean all the leaf plates. So when they started lifting, Mother said, "No, I will lift all the leaf plates." Even in spite of that, Amjad was about to lift his plate because he thought that he does not belong to the at all. Mother said, "No, no, no, I will lift your plates." Now she had a Puritan niece, Nalini. Nalini said, "Mother, if you lift his eaten plate, will you retain your caste?" Mother asked her, "Which Shastra you are telling that a mother loses her caste by lifting the eaten leave of her son. Nalini was a little puzzled and said, "Is Amdad your son?" Now, in those days, Shardan Swamiji, born of a pure Brahmin family, a sannyasi, a Nirvikalpa Samadhiman Brahmanya Purush, was known to be mother's favorite. Mother said his name was Sharad. Mother said that Amjad is as much my son as Sharad is. You understand? Sameness. Now, did mother anytime ask that Amjad be made the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Mission? Did mother any day ask, let Sharad come and do this mason's work in my house? So the external distinction is very clear, and more clear is the internal Brahmanhood. So that is the. Now let me tell another thing about the mother. When I said Brahmanhood, there she said, my sons. So son, Sannyasi asked mother, how, what are we to you? He expected the answer, you are my children. But mother immediately said, you are all Brahman. He said, mother, are we not your children? Mother said, you may be my children, but you are Brahman. Now we understand the Samabuddhi fully. One Brahman seen as my son, one Brahman seen as equally present in all, and yet there are distinctions outside. But in the Buddhi, the Brahman prevails. And that is this Gunadosha Vishishte Asmin Swabhavena Vilakshane. Though outside, Guna and Dosha are opposite to each other, yet Sarvatra Samadarshitvam, but seeing Brahman in all, Brahma Buddhi, Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. This is, Shankar is giving this for inspiring us. So he can be inspired only through examples. Such examples exist, and we have to look at them. इष्टानिष्टार्थ संप्राप्तौ समदर्शितयात्मनि उभयत्र विकारित्वं जीवन्मुक्तस्य लक्षणम् इष्ट अनिष्ट संप्राप्त. There may be certain things required in his life, certain things may not be favorable to his life, and they may come to him. But because within himself he has this the Samadarshitva or Brahma Buddhi, he remains unaffected. Avikaritvam. He does not say that I did not want this, why you have brought. He does not say, oh, grand, you have brought this. Because Vayatra Avikaritvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. That is the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta. Brahma Anandara Saswata Asakta Chitta Tayayate Antar Bhairavignanam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. Rasaswada asaktataya chittaye. Though the expression is aswada, should not be taken as an enjoyment, it should be taken as an experience. The experience, his chitta, his mind is experiencing Brahmananda Rasa. Rasam is the source of joy, source of the bliss of Brahman. He is experiencing continuously. We are told without a gap he is experiencing. So, inside and outside difference itself has gone into it. In my mind, it is like this. In the outside world, it is like this. This antar bahir avidnyanam. He does not experience something inside, something outside. Everywhere it is Brahman for him. That is the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta. देहेन्द्रियादौ कर्तव्ये ममाहम भाववर्जिता औदासीन्येन यस्तिष्ठेत स जीवन मुक्त लक्षण. In the body and in the indriyas, and kartavya, something to be done by him, he does not feel it has to be done by me. Mama, my or aham bhava varjita. There is no my or I sense in him about his body, about his organs, or about the works which we see him doing. Udasinena yastishthet. Udasinna means sitting above. These are apparent. He is in the reality. And here you apply that whatever concern about Mahapurush Maharaj, Sri Krishna's another disciple, Vigyanand Swamiji has written as an introduction to his biography, first line. He was supremely concerned and absolutely unconcerned about the world. Mahapurush Maharaj was supremely concerned and absolutely unconcerned about the world. That means welfare of the world is in his heart. He is supremely concerned about it, but absolutely unconcerned because for him everything is Brahman. Let me give an example for this also. In East Bengal, there was famine, floods, and monks of the Ramakrishna Mission were to go there to do relief work. They came to seek Mahaprabhuji's permission. And Mahaprabhuji is telling, go, go. Last 3 days, I have no sleep. See what they are suffering. And what you will give them, don't think you can give them something. People are given and you are distributing. But you can give them with love. Go, go. And then he says, see the play of the mother. On one side, she is creating destruction. On the other side, she is raising compassion in the minds of people. So that is the vision. He sees the external facts and yet he sees mother in all. So instead of this Audasinena, we must understand that he is supremely concerned about the world, but absolutely unconcerned. Ya tishte jivan muktasya lakshana. विज्ञात आत्मनो यस्य ब्रह्म भावा श्रुतेर बलात् भवबंध विनिर्मुक्ता स जीवन मुक्त लक्षणम. He has realized his Atman as Brahman. Shruter balat, that means the original source was Vedanta. He heard from his Guru and he has meditated, he has gone through Nididhasan and he has now realized it. So he is free from all bondages. He is Jivan Mukta. One who becomes free from all bondages because he realizes Atman to be Brahman, though in the beginning he might have heard Vedas and through his Guru, but he has realized them and so he is free. देहेन्द्रियाशु अहम भाव इदम भावस्तदन्यके यस्य नो भवता क्वापि स जीवन मुक्त इष्यते. About his body and indriyas, this is mine. And about anything else, it is this object. About anything else, it is this. About his own body and indriyas, mind, this does not exist in him. Everything is two sides, you may say. Everything is unreal or everything is God's. So this body is something that here also let me quote Mahapuruji. After somebody came to inquire, how are you? Maharaj said that fine, I am in bliss. He said, I heard that you had some problems 3-4 days. He said, yes, you are talking with the body. Body is going towards its end. And then he said, but I do not ignore the body functions. He patted his own body and said, in this body, living in this body, I realized God. And now I see that God helps people through this body. So there is a speciality in this body. That is the vision of the Siddha Prajna, Ajivan. So, though Shankar goes on telling it from the passive side, I am describing everything from the active side. Passive side is all right because there is no concern. Yasya no bhavata kvapi. He does not have this, that this is my body and this is something else. This type of awareness is not there because all is Brahman for him. न प्रत्यक ब्रह्मणोर भेदम कदापि ब्रह्म सर्गयो Pradneya yo vijanati sa jivan mukta lakshana. Pratyek means his own self, inner self. And Brahman, there is no difference in him. In him, there is no difference between his reality and the reality absolute. Tadapi Brahma Sargayo. In Brahman and the creation, there is no difference. Brahman itself is manifested as the creation. After Nirvikala Samadhi, this becomes the state of affair. That Brahman itself is appearing as the outside world. So no difference between Brahman and outside world, no difference between Brahman and himself. How it has come? Pragyaya. We have seen that Pragya, the Vritti. Now, after Nirvikala Samadhi, again the Vritti will be there. But the Vritti is telling him that it is only Brahman. Here, there, everywhere. So, yo vijanati, one who experiences. Through that Vritti, who experiences that there is no difference between my reality and the absolute reality, no difference between the world and the reality, he is Jivan Mukta Lakshana. साधुभिः पूज्यमानेऽस्मिन् पीड्यमानेऽपि दुर्जनैः समभावो भवेद् यस्य स जीवन्मुक्तलक्षणः. Now comes a very practical test. The good people will understand him and they will worship him. And the bad people will not understand him and they may beat him even. But he does not feel good or bad. He feels Brahman. That is Jivanmukta. I'll give two examples. During the 1857 first independence struggle, all were fighting together. One Muslim stabbed a sadhu and he collapsed, became unconscious. Now they are trying to revive him and appears to have been revived. So they are checking him. Swami Kanda has described this. They checked him. Why do you recognize me? Like that they are telling. Somebody is giving him milk or water. He said, yes, the same person who stabbed me is giving me water. Now the persons are different outside, but in the sadhu's consciousness, it is Brahman as that person who stabbed him, Brahman as another person is reviving him. This is the brightest example of a Jivan Mukta. He does not feel the difference. He does not feel the hatred towards one. He does not feel special love towards the other. This is what happens. He said, I will give two examples. Mathur Babu had a priest in his house and he became jealous of Sri Ramakrishna. And finding Sri Ramakrishna alone, he is asking him, tell me the trick by which you have captured this Mathur Babu. Sri Ramakrishna was in a bhava state. He heard everything, but there was no response. And this man kicked him and said, you are not telling me? Now, Sri Ramakrishna never revealed it so long as the man was in Mathur Babu's service. Due to some other fault, he was removed. And then one day Sri Ramakrishna told him this. So he does not feel any hatred toward that man. Sadhuvi pujyamanepi, pujyamane asmin pidyamanepi durjanai, samabhavo bhavedyasya sa jivanmukta lakshana. Yatra pravishta vishaya parerita nadi pravaha iva vari rashau लीयन्ति सन्मात्रतया न विक्रियाम् उत्पादयन्ते शयतिर्विमुक्ता प्रेरिता विषया यत्र प्रविष्टा. Directed by others, some objects are coming to him. Directed by others, some objects are coming to him. They dissolve in him, becoming Brahman only. All the rivers flowing in the ocean become the ocean and they do not disturb the ocean. Similarly, no vikriya, we do not find any distraction in such a person. He is the mukta yati, Jivan mukta. So the word is not repeated here. Here again I will give an example. During his last days, Mahaprabhuji did not sleep. And in the night he used to ask his sevakas to read some scripture. And the sevak was reading. This very idea is there in the Gita, Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. Apurya Manamachala Pratishtam, Samudram Apa Pravishanti Yadvat, Tadvat Kama Ayam Pravishanti Sarve, Sa Shanti Mapnoti Na Kama Kami, that though rivers are continuously filling up the ocean does not leave its borders. They become lost in the ocean. So this man of knowledge does not produce any reaction, though the objects are coming to him. Mahaprabhuji was explaining that. And because of his experience, he said, as the rivers get lost in the ocean, so you people are there and many objects are coming to me, but they all become lost in me, he said. Instead of giving the example of Sita Prajna, he said, they get lost in me. No reaction or response comes from here. So because of his realization, he expressed that as me. That is what is being told here. Yatra pravishta vishaya parerita nadi pravaha iva varirashu. In the ocean, liyanti sanmatrataya. They become Brahman only. The vikriyam utpadayanti. They do not produce any deformation, distraction, any vikar in this sannyasi who is vimukta. विज्ञात ब्रह्म तत्वस्य यथा पूर्वं न संस्कृति अस्ति चेत् न स विज्ञात ब्रह्म भावो बहिर्मुखा. So the question of rebirth is brought. It says one who has realized the nature of Brahman, he does not transmigrate like previously. Like the ignorant person, he has to transmigrate, but this man of knowledge does not have to transmigrate. Asti chet, if transmigration is there, or if he thinks that I will be again born, then he has not realized Brahman. So a clear-cut demarcation is being shown. Those who have realized Brahman, they need not come back again. Those who are bound to come back again, they come back by God's will is a different thing. But those are not compelled to bring back again. If they are compelled to come back, then they are not Jivan Mukta. Shall I give a very bright example of this? Madan Mohan Malaviya, the founder of the Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. There is a belief act also that those who die in Kashi are not reborn. He was living in Kashi. He created that Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. When he was about to die, he asked his friends to take him away from Kashi because I want to be born again and I want to do further work for them. So, if one thinks of transmigration is not Jivan Mukta, if he Jivan Mukta, he does not think of coming again. If he comes, God brings him, it's a very different thing. Now, a beautiful question is being brought by Shankaracharya through this. He is talking now about Prarabdha, and that is a very, very important topic here. Prachina Vasana Vegat Asau Sansarati iti chet na Sadekatva Vijnanat Mandi Bhavati Vasana. Old desires were there, old impressions were there, and they have made this body. Their flow is going on. So will that flow not bring him again for a second birth? He says no. He has experienced now one reality. So all that impression and the force have lost their force. The impression of the past have lost their force to bring him again because of his knowledge of Brahman, that they are all Brahman. Because of that, they have lost their force. He gives a common example. अत्यंत कामुकस्यापि वृत्ति कुंठति मातरि तथैव ब्रह्मणि ज्ञाते पूर्णानंदे मनीषिणा. He says one is very lustful, but when he comes to his mother, the lust does not function. Similarly, this may or may not be true, but Shankar has given this example. But one who knows Brahman, full of joy, that Manishi, all the past impressions and all that have lost their core. That is what he wants to tell. And now he explains very, very important thing, please. Because we often hear of this prarabdha. निधिध्यासनशीलस्य बाह्यप्रत्यय ईक्षते ब्रवीति श्रुतिरेतस्य प्रारब्धं फलदर्शनात्. So what about the prarabdha which Shruti is talking about? He said, yes. Nididhyasana Shil. We have heard more than 100 shlokas for Nididhyasana. What is Nididhyasana? He has felt Brahmasmi. But Vaya Pratyaya Ikshate. It is not continuous, it is not steady. So external awareness also exists. One who is Nididhyasana Shil, his habit is to do Nididhyasana. And we have heard 100 more than 100 shlokas that the outside things will come, remove them. So he removes and becomes steady in his Brahma consciousness. That is Nididhyasana Shil. In the Vedanta technology is called Jnana Nishtha. And the Lakshana of Jnana Nishtha and Jnani is 90% same. And yet, this is the main difference. So, Shruti is telling about Prarabdha. It applies to the Nididhyasana Shil. His other Lakshanas similar to the Jnani. But here, the Prarabdha is still working in him because the external pratyaya is still there. So the Prarabdha works. Nididhyasana Shil. Vaya pratyaya ikshate. Shruti etasya prarabdham praviti paladarshana. Because we see that he is subject to prarabdha. If he has done good or bad, he has to suffer those things. He has to experience those things. He cannot give up his body, or he cannot die, or he cannot say, I don't want. We seeing this, Shruti is telling he is under prarabdha. So this is a very important topic, and we will take it up in the next class. Today we heard about the Jivan Mukta, the man of full knowledge, his external behavior, and a prarabdha has been introduced here. The word prarabdha comes once before during Nididhyasana description. That prarabdham pushyati tanu. He is not giving any effort for his body, because the prarabdha is bringing that. That word has come. And now, where prarabdha exists, where it does not exist, very beautifully, Shankara Vivek Chudamani has described it. It is one of the remarkable features of Vivek Chudamani. So let us take it up on the next term. So today we are read 445, but from here we'll start again in the next term. Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiyam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.